Gachaguq has officially come out to declare that he's going to vie for presidency come 2027.
Gachaguq atapigania kiti cha urais na atashinda. Na kura mingi sana.
So utaomba kiti cha urais?
Si ndio. Kwani naomba na kina nani? Si wanaume naomba.
And that was a shock to most of the Kenyans, particularly the MPs and the people of William Ruto, because they expected after impeachment Gachaguq was going to tense back and actually boycott or maybe avoid the presidency. I've done a video here before and told you guys that Gachaguq cannot look for food. Chase the enemy, get the food, bring the food on the table, cook it, and serve it to other people, then eventually sit back and watch as you people eat as he stays hungry. I told you guys before, he has to go for the presidency just to at least pay for his effort that he has been making so far. So therefore, him declaring presidency, it was significant from my point. It was necessary. Secondly, it is significant. On this video here, I'm going to take you through on why I feel strongly that this was significant in my opinion to declare that he's going to vie for presidency come 2027. Before I take you through, please, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Let me give you 2 seconds to subscribe. Thank you so much for those who have subscribed. Let me dive into the topic today. What are these significant lessons that I was able to learn from Gachaguq's declaration that's going to vie for presidency? First of all, there are advantages that I was able to note from there and some disadvantages. The first advantage is this. Gachaguq is going to use this as a way to unite Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya will unite fully if they have a presidential candidate. Not only Mount Kenya. That's how Kalenjins unite. Those are Luyas unite. Those are Kisses united in 2002, where Gachaguq was vying for presidency, and actually youths, people from the Gusii region entirely voted towards one direction. So therefore, as we speak today, the fact is that Gachaguq vying for presidency in 2027, meaning even declaring itself, means that is going to mobilize the votes in Mount Kenya, get the people behind him, and the people are going to solidly stand and depend on his decision making. Another thing that I also learned as for this declaration, it is that it's going to be a tool to counter other people and eventually mobilize. Who do I mean by other people? As we speak today, there are members of parliament moving across the country accusing Kikuyus of always wanting to be in power, feeling that others are not entitled. To speak of someone like Kaluma, he just tweeted and said that Kikuyus started the Ruto must go the same way they started from Moi must go. They are forgetting that Raila Amolo Odinga is the one who started with us. Ruto must go just after the election of 2022. He's forgetting that. So he came on board to accuse Kikuyus on that. But the fact is, Ruto must go did not just come from Kikuyus. We had demonstrations here in Kisii. The youths were tribalists by that time. And when this was happening, we had issues at hand that we were talking about, which we expected President William Ruto to fix them after dissolving the cabinet. But in real sense, he went back to the arrogant President William Ruto, who does not care what you say, what you think, and how it affects you, whether it takes the country forward or backwards. It doesn't care at all. So in a nutshell, declaration by Gachaguq, it is going to even help counter these people who are accusing Kikuyus, and then eventually that spirit of mobilization will come up and people will be like, wametuona hivi, wanatuona. So in the ballot, these guys are going to come out in large numbers to protect and save their dignity. That is one of the lessons I've learned from this kind of a video. This kind of a declaration by Gachaguq. Another thing I was able to learn is this. There's a possibility that President William Ruto might sponsor a candidate from the Mount Kenya region, simply to divide Mount Kenya. We have to all accept that a united Mount Kenya against President William Ruto is dangerous. That means William Ruto is 50% going home without any other part of the country voting or any class deciding to vote against him. Already, Mount Kenya alone voting against President William Ruto is 50% going home. Why? When he was coming to government, almost 50% gave him the votes for presidency. Now, if it's going out, the same money, the same votes are withdrawn from him, then that means he's halfway home. So it's just a few people to come and vote and add the top of Mount Kenya votes against President William Ruto, and there he is marching to Sugoi. So a united Mount Kenya is dangerous. So William Ruto is working up and down, day and night, to ensure that he has at least divided Mount Kenya. So there's a possibility he might sponsor a candidate to come in 2027, via in the name of getting Mount Kenya votes, and so that they can be able to divide Mount Kenya votes from Gachaguq having a block. So the fact is, if they do that, that's a clear indication that Rigathi Gachagua is going to be weak. But the fact is, he might not succeed because Kikuyus, they know what they're doing. So therefore, as you speak today, when Rigathi Gachagua declares that he's going to fight for presidency, he first of all mobilizes people around him and he prevents any form of any form of division, any form of a leader coming up again to raise against Rigathi Gachagua. That is basically going to happen, because if you come up now, you're easily going to be seen as a threat of that region. People will hate you, and eventually you find yourself losing significantly, or probably even getting hated and even relocated from that place, displaced from that place, because we are very serious in 2027. Another thing I was able to notice this: Rigathi Gachagua is stamping his authority in Mount Kenya that is a kingpin. Right now, there's a slight confusion about him and Uhuru Kenyatta. But being is the only active politician right now in the Kenyan politics, particularly from the mountain region, the fact is that Uhuru Kenyatta stepped back and let him do his thing. And of course, as Rigathi Gachagua said, he might be consulting him on one or two things. And probably the language that Rigathi Gachagua is speaking is the same language of Uhuru Kenyatta. But we have to accept that by declaring the presidency, that means he's going for the topmost seat. And that means that the people of Mount Kenya are going to listen to him more. That's how Uhuru Kenyatta ascended into power. And that is how Rigathi Gachagua will eventually occupy that seat and become the kingpin of the mountain region. So stamping authority, it is through what we call vying for that seat. Whether he wins or not, he shall have been the uppermost presidential candidate, leader from the Mount Kenya region who would fight for presidency. Because I don't expect William Ruto to front Kithure Kindiki for presidency. If he does so, then that's a clear indication that he wants to take Mount Kenya East and leave Mount Kenya West and isolate Mount Kenya West, of which I doubt that it can happen. Other thing that we have to say here, declaration of his presidency shows very well, his candidature for the presidency shows very well that he wants to sell his party that's going to launch next month. He wants to sell his party to the people of Kenya so that more people can join on board. In 2027, he can be able to have so many people in parliament as members of parliament and as senators and as governors, of course. So the fact is, he's going to use that wave to sell his party in the entire nation. Also to ensure that within the mountain region, the party dominates in all seats, MCA, MP, senator, and even governor. And that is basically going to happen because Rigathi Gachagua is such a good mobilizer, both on the ground and, of course, nationally. Lastly, I think it's also going to be a bargaining strategy for him in 2026, where they are going to sit together with Kalonzo Musyoka, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, and of course other leaders to decide who is going to be the flag bearer, because they have to produce one candidate to really go take the country forward. And I think that's going to happen come 2027. I don't know what's your take, ladies and gentlemen, but please let me see in the comment section what you think as far as Rigathi Gachagua's move is concerned to fight for presidency. However, people might be saying it's not time for Kikuyus. Yes, but me I say, so long as you can be able to take William Ruto out of office, and so long as you are able to deliver for the people of Kenya, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a Kikuyu and you can deliver for us, we can have another Kikuyu. What is wrong with that? If you are a Christian and can be able to deliver for us, do it. If you are a Kalenjin again better than Ruto, please come on board. I don't know what's your take, but let's engage in the comment section. See you next time for more videos.